All right, let's just jump right into it. We all know the Middle East is basically the world's gas station, right? But have you ever really stopped and wondered, why there? The answer, it turns out, is this incredible geological detective story that's been millions of years in the making.
I mean, it seems completely backward, doesn't it? We're told oil comes from ancient oceans, yet the biggest reserves on the planet are buried under some of the driest, sandiest places on Earth. So how did that happen? Let's solve this paradox.
To really crack this puzzle, we have to start at the very beginning. Before we figure out where the oil is, we first need to get a handle on what oil actually is. Because here's the thing, not all fossil fuels are created equal. Crude oil has a very, very specific recipe, and it starts in the water.
So this is the crucial part. We're not talking about dinosaurs here. We're talking about trillions upon trillions of tiny, microscopic bits of ocean life. Plankton, algae, you name it. For millions of years, they lived, they died, and their remains sank to the bottom of the ocean, creating this thick organic sludge that got buried and basically pressure cooked by the Earth's heat. That is how you get crude oil.
And this, right here, shows you the key difference. While coal comes from ancient swamps and forests on land, all that plant matter getting buried, crude oil is born exclusively from life in the ocean. This little fact is the absolute key to our entire mystery.
Okay, so now we know our main ingredient is a whole lot of ocean life. So where did all this happen? Well, we have to go back in time to a world that looks totally different from ours, to an ocean that doesn't even exist anymore.
So forget what you know about the Middle East today. No deserts, no sand dunes. Instead, picture this, a huge, warm, tropical sea covering everything, what is now Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, all of it underwater. This was the Tethys Ocean. And as it turns out, it was the perfect factory for making oil.
And here's why it was so perfect. You had all these rivers dumping tons of minerals into the Tethys. Think of it like super fertilizer for all those little microbes. It caused this massive population boom. So as they all died and sank, they created this incredibly thick carpet of organic gunk on the seafloor, which then got sealed under layers of salt and sediment. It basically created a giant underground pressure cooker.
Right. That's the question, isn't it? We've successfully made a sea of oil, but it's still at the bottom of a sea. So how in the world did it end up under dry land? Well, the answer isn't some gentle, slow process. It's one of the most violent events in our planet's geological history.
You see, the ground beneath our feet feels pretty solid, but it's not. The Earth's surface is actually a bunch of massive plates that are always moving, and sometimes they crash into each other. And one of those crashes, well, it changed everything.
So let's trace this out. 100 million years ago, the Tethys is this wide open ocean. But then, the landmass that would become India starts charging north at an incredible speed for a continent. Around 50 million years ago, bam! It just slams into the Eurasian plate. The collision was so powerful, it literally squeezed the Tethys Ocean completely out of existence.
And there it is. That's our aha moment. The sheer force of that collision didn't just create the Himalayan mountains. It buckled, folded, and lifted the entire oil-soaked floor of the Tethys, raising it thousands of feet above sea level and turning it into the dry land we now call the Middle East. It literally trapped an ocean's worth of oil under a brand new desert.
So, a lost ocean and a continental car crash handed the world a geological lottery ticket. But just how big was the prize? Well, the scale of it is pretty staggering.
First, just get this number in your head. The entire region is just a tiny sliver of the world's land, only about 3.5%. It's pretty small.
Now hold that tiny number in your head, because that same little piece of land holds nearly half of all the planet's known oil reserves. It is an absolutely unbelievable concentration of energy.
I mean, this chart just says it all, doesn't it? The slice for the Middle East is almost as big as the slice for every other country on Earth combined. This is what we're talking about. This is the Great Anomaly, born from the death of an ancient ocean.
And hey, it wasn't just oil. That same geological pressure cooker also created and trapped a massive amount of natural gas. We're talking more than a third of the entire world's supply.
So there you have it, an incredible story of ancient geology literally powered our modern world. But that winning lottery ticket isn't going to last forever. And the story of energy, well, it's already turning to a new chapter.
So instead of digging deep for energy that was created millions of years ago, we're now figuring out how to harness the power that's all around us, every single day, from the sun beating down, to the wind, to even the heat coming from inside the Earth itself.
And the reason for this huge shift is really pretty simple. That same black gold that built our modern world, well, it came with some serious consequences. This transition is all about building a future with cleaner air, better health, and a more stable climate for everyone.
Which leaves us with this final thought. The last 100 years were powered by a geological jackpot won millions of years ago. The real question for us, for right now, is what's going to power the next century? Will it be another lucky break? Or will our future be powered by our own ingenuity?